With the quorum being present, we'll call this meeting to order. Before we get started, I just need to clear the air about a couple of things. There's apparently some sentiment out there that the board has not accepted responsibility in the mistakes made leading up to our current financial state. Let me be clear, everyone here does accept responsibility, being completely aware of what we could have and should have done. Only Roger and Megan were not responsible, as they were not on the board when those mistakes were made. So with that said, our focus is now on moving forward and in ensuring that the mistakes made in the past are not made in the future. With that in mind, we're working with MSBA and our financial consultant, Carol Embry, in establishing guardrails, ensuring we're fully aware of current and future budget compliance by knowing exact expenditures and revenue. And I want to say I appreciate Mandy's work and Jamie's work and Dr. Spence's work in helping us provide those guardrails and all the information that we're now receiving. So let's move forward with the agenda. You have the consent agenda in front of you. Are there any changes?
No.
Anybody have any questions concerning
I
that?
got a question. There's a purchase on there, or a couple purchases on there.
Okay.
Would you like to speak to those?
Sure. You're talking about Huddle
Huddle
and Turf Tank?
Yep.
Yes. Huddle was, that's a service our coaches use every year. It's volleyball, football, baseball, use it to film activities and games, and then the coaches use that to share with other schools and then use it for film purposes. So it's a yearly subscription, comes out of the athletic budget. Turf Tank paints sports fields. It's kind of like a Roomba for your field that paints the field. Half of that came out of the athletic budget, and then half will come from football with revenues from concessions and t-shirts.
Okay, so
Those were both agreements we entered in the spring. So we'll have to reevaluate. Huddle is something that's fairly necessary. The Turf Tank, probably, that we do pay, normally we would have paid somebody
is that a
to paint the field.
subscription, or is that?
It's a yearly subscription, yeah.
So it's a leased piece of equipment?
Correct.
Okay. And do you know how much we were paying an employee?
I would have to look that up.
Can we see a comparison of those?
Sure.
How would it be paying employee if we were absent on staff? Would that be extra stipend or just somebody doing their job?
I don't know, that's what,
Well, we have paid extra in the past on an hourly basis.
okay.
Any other questions? Then I would receive a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Motion's made. Is there a second? Second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Then we'll
We've got just a couple of things from me tonight. The health report is in your iPad agenda folder, so you can look at that from our nursing department and all the numbers from the first few weeks of school. And then I've got your MSBA report that I will fire up while you look at that.
How do we find it?
Should be under,
Yeah, I'm just saying.
what was it under? Administrative report.
That's
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Welcome to the September edition of the Missouri School Board Association's Board Report. A new school year means a first stress test for your budget. Actual enrollment, transportation miles, salaries, benefits, and fixed costs can shift fast. So when do you amend? MSBA Senior Director of School Finance, Linda Quinley, explains what to watch for in the first month of the new school year.
This time of year, it is really, in my mind, about a first good budget amendment to clean up what you thought might be the case in June, because now we have some final pieces of data that help us do that. Those being, we know what our final assessed valuation is, we know what our tax rates are. And by the end of September, we'll know what our membership count is for the fall, and we start getting some of those big pieces that then tell us what revenue is going to really look like for the year.
Linda says that districts need to communicate budget issues with the community to make the process understandable.
I think that's critically important. It's always time to tell your story, but right now sharing an understanding around local revenue, I think, is the biggest community message, because we are seeing some high increases in assessed valuation. That immediately makes people think their taxes are going way up. So helping your community understand that the Hancock Amendment is there to protect them from that, and how that impacts the net change in their property taxes is huge. I think also helping the community understand and pay attention to what might happen after the state legislature gets done with the work on the formula, and then more importantly, even just because of the variety of lines, paying close attention to federal program dollars, particularly in high need districts, because the higher need districts get the larger amounts of federal dollars.
Linda says there are many reasons that districts of every size should take part in long-range financial planning.
I am a huge fan and proponent of simple but clear long-range financial planning, and it's not something a lot of districts have done. Larger districts tend to do it, but I believe that every district, every size in Missouri needs to have a very simple, it doesn't have to be overly complicated, long-range financial planning model, because our commitments are growing based on statute and a variety of things, but our revenues are flattening and or declining, and so long-range financial planning is just going to set a board up to know, in collaboration with leadership, where and when you might hit some bumps in the road, so that you can be proactive and plan for those ahead of time.
Linda and her team will have a School Finance for School Board Members workshop during the MSBA annual conference, as well as multiple concurrent sessions on finance. Speaking of annual conference, registration is still open for the 2025 MSBA Annual Conference in cooperation with the Missouri Association of School Administrators and the Missouri Association of School Business Officials, to be held October 23rd through the 25th in Kansas City. The event will once again feature numerous breakout sessions and workshops, many presented by school leaders from districts throughout the state, the Education Expo, and another great lineup of general session speakers. Pre-conference sessions start on Wednesday, the 22nd, with the AI in Education Symposium. MSBA's Director of Digital Initiatives, Mark Henderson, says that the event has something for everyone, regardless of your AI expertise or experience level.
AI is transforming education right now. Are you prepared to lead the changes in your district? At this one-day event, we'll explore how AI supports learning and how school leaders like you can lead with confidence. We'll kick off with Kim Carr, co-founder and executive director of Digital for Good and I Can Help, a nationally recognized leader in digital wellness and online safety education. Then you'll experience expert sessions led by practicing educators, technology professionals, legal experts, and student voices covering AI implementation in classrooms, cybersecurity, policy development, career readiness, and more.
Thursday, the 23rd, is filled with workshops and events for new board members and board secretaries, plus timely sessions on finance, parliamentary procedure, and more. The Fall Delegate Assembly will be held on the Friday of annual conference. The Delegate Assembly is the chance to have your voice heard on issues surrounding public education as we head toward the next legislative session. That's it for this month. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and we'll see you in October for the next MSBA Board Report. Welcome to the September edition of the Missouri.
Yep.
Greenwood.
Yep.
You know when that is, or?
We've got it read, let me see. Let me get back to you. Get that information.
Seems like it was 20, no, September.
I can find out
24th
for
or?
you guys.
It's Thursday, September 25th, and it's hosted by Glenwood.
Yeah, September 25th.
Yep. I think it's maybe $45 registration fee, something to that effect.
Yep.
Also, anybody that wants to go to this fall meeting, you'll let me know, so I need to look for that. Memorial Fall, in Kansas City.
The investigator.
I mean, the investigator.
Right.
Fall.
Yep. All right, Mr. Rogers, I think you're up.
All right. Well, good evening, guys. As you know, we're in week 4 here of the school year. We're off to a smooth start. Still a lot of moving parts. We're getting acclimated and getting our feet wet, but everything's working out. We started enrollment for the elementary. I put this report together. Of course, it can fluctuate, every few days, but we're around 347. That's K through 4. 61 in a preschool. That's actually up a little bit, so that's encouraging. And we hope that number will, continue to climb there. So anyway, you can see our attendance here for August. It's the first couple weeks there. So as we get in the school year, we'll learn more about that. But things I want to touch on. We had our first big event for the elementary Friday night. Grandparents' night. That's a big thing. The elementary. Had a super good turnout. The weather was perfect Friday. We had punch and popcorn down on the blacktop by the gym. Good turnout. It went great. So we couldn't ask for more than that. It's a good thing to get people here on a positive thing and get to play with their kids. So their grandkids. It went well. Some upcoming events there I want to talk about. We have we're in the process of planning with a senior through a senior project, the 3rd and 4th grade book club on the boxcar series. That's a good thing. It's exciting that we stand after school to do that. And the senior has got the dates planned and stuff like that. We're just getting some sign up to have plan supervision, so that's a big thing. Student leadership. I went back and forth with this on the past, but we are going to focus on getting a student leadership team in the elementary. I know they're really young, but it's never too early to start leadership skills, and those kids want to help. We can put them to work doing various things, so that's something we're going to try to focus on this school year and make that happen. Rise and Shine assemblies will start this toward the end of September, I think 26th or 8th, but that's the time we recognize kids for various things, whether it be usually inside school. If they do something special outside school, we bring recognition to that. We bring high school kids over when we can for to show whether it's athletics or band or a series of things that they do or in high school that they can share with us to get kids excited about school in general. So as you know, they look up to high school kids and the middle school kids, but it's a big thing there. We're currently wrapping up the iReady testing. We do that at the beginning of the year. Kind of gives us a measuring stick to get started. We're wrapping that up along with dyslexia screening, which those also required with DESE, but we also do those. And as you know, dyslexia, we can't do anything with that other than administer the test and then give that information to the parents. We cannot diagnose dyslexia or anything of that nature. As you see at the beginning of the year already, and then kindergarten does a kindergarten entrance exam. We'll have those results to you a little bit later on because we're just now finishing that up. It kind of lets us know who's kindergarten ready, the number of students. We have in a kindergarten, I don't have that enrollment, around 60-some kids. And I'm anxious to see the percentage of that's ready for kindergarten, based on that exam, of course. Some good things that we got going on there. All this stuff's good stuff, but we continue again this year with 4th grade flag etiquette. We have 4th grade students that rotates with a different group, goes out every morning and raises the flag. They've learned how to fold the flag, raise the flag, take it down, bring it in, store it, and all that. And that's a big deal. Chris Thomas came in, spent some time with the 4th graders and teaching them that. They love it, and it's a different group. I'm not sure how often we change those kids. We get everyone involved in that we can. They do a super job, and they understand the significance of that. And that's kind of impressive to watch the little kids do that. Last week, we accepted the bank donation for the Bears card in the district. I think that was really, really generous and a great thing there. We're excited about that. So everything's, like I said, that's off to a smooth start. A lot going on. We're excited about it. A lot of good things going there. We've had some transitions, some adjustments. We're down to 4 classes, 4 teachers per grade level, which is so far working out pretty good. And we're making it. Good things. Any questions for me about the elementary? All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Who's up next? Who do you have?
Middle school.
All right.
Middle school.
Progression.
Yeah. Let's jump right in. I know we have some stuff that, I feel like I'm standing right that Toby's going to kind of go over as well, just as far as the events. So I'll talk more about some of the celebrations that we have going and some things that involve the teachers. First of all, our attendance, we're off a few from where we were last year, but we're really close. I think we're only 3 or 4 kids off of where we ended the year last year. So, yeah, and you can see what our enrollment is by grade level right here. So we're hanging in there, just below 90 in most of our grade levels there. So, yeah, to start off with, we celebrate students being back in the building. I was glad to get kids back in the building and get everything kicked off, and I think we've had a really good start to the school year. That first week we were busy. We always want to try to make it fun for the kids the first week back, and so we had several things going on. We went ahead and took care of our MAP reward field trip and some of those things. Those kids that scored advanced and proficient got the field trip to Skateland, and then we actually had an assembly on that fun Friday of that first week for those kids and recognized them. You may have seen them in the paper, but there was a really good bunch of kids that scored in the advanced and proficient and were recognized during that assembly on that Friday. So kind of in some of the stuff going on as far as in the building, I've met with every teacher at this point. We've sat down, talked individually about goals, kind of what we have in mind for the school year, particularly for each teacher. I think those discussions went really, really good. Just making sure that we're focused on the right things, that we're being intentional about the right things, and that we're all working together as a team. So kind of in relation with that, I also met with the grade level teams, just kind of same conversations, specifically talking with them about their Tier 2 instruction, continually trying to get better with that, trying to make sure that we're not focusing too much on one particular group, but that we are reaching those kids, especially that might not see the attention that the other ones see, and making sure that we're not missing anybody. So we finished up our iReady testing just like yesterday, so we should have those results in. That helps us put our kids into groups for their Tier 3. That's the intervention. And then we look at not only this score at the beginning of the year, this benchmark test, but we look at scores from last year, kind of how the MAP scores, and kind of look to make sure we have the whole picture and multiple points of data that we look at there when we group those kids to make sure that we're getting the right ones in the group and getting them the help that they need. So a lot of stuff going on here the first couple weeks of school. But like I said, it's been a great start to the school year, and everybody's smiling at the middle school, so we're excited. And then also the bank donation, that was really nice. That helps our Culture and Climate Committee. That goes right back in and helps us do things that directly impact kids in lots of different ways. So we're always appreciative of that. Any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Thank you.
You can see our attendance and stuff up there. Things that we've had going on. Fall sports have started, of course. They're in full swing. Lots going on there. Club meetings have started. One of our goals for our building was to increase our internships. Last year we had 3 internships. This year we currently have 10 students doing internships of some kind. So that's been good to see that number increase. And we'll continue to try to get kids involved in more things. Trying to get numbers looked at just currently where we are, which we know that some kids are involved in things that happen later in the year and not as much now, but I'm working on trying to get those numbers, and I'll share those when I have those available. Met with our Student Advisory Council today and got some positive feedback from them. They said that this year's been a pretty simple year. Things have been pretty simple. Biggest change we've had is our lunch, going to one lunch, and They seem pretty positive about that. They don't have to search for their friends based on whether it's Maroon Day or White Day and who's in there. Everybody's always there. We give the seniors an opportunity to not eat with everybody else if they choose to, and I think they've liked that opportunity. It's a little bit different, so that's been good. But I think overall, what the comment was, everybody seems more organized and people seem to be staying more on task and more of their work getting done, I think is what they said. So it's been a good start to the year. Like I said, we're busy right now and we'll stay busy for most of the year. But I don't want to take too much away from Toby, as she'll have some things to say about what's been going on. So, any questions?
Oh,
Go ahead, Adam.
no, on lunch, how long was lunch this year?
It's too long.
Too long?
Let's see. Bell rings at 11:45. We say lunch starts at 11:50, although some of them are in there at 11:45, and it goes till 12:10.
If seniors choose not to go down, of course, they can bring their own lunch.
Yep. And if they choose to eat up there, they can still come get a lunch or bring their own lunch. It doesn't matter. Yep. So we have trash cans and stuff there, and they've been really good about keeping that area clean up there. And even there was something on the floor, and I went to go get a broom and get it cleaned up, and the student came by and said, "I think that was mine. I'll get that," and cleaned it up. So they're doing a good job of taking care of those things and not abusing things.
Can you describe the intern, like what your internship is? I don't guess I'm real.
So an internship means if they can get a job, they can go work for somebody, get on-the-job experience.
Like half a day or?
Either 1 block a day or 2 blocks every other day. And some of them, sometimes it works good, they'll do it first block. They may have something where they get up early and they're doing something, or more common is at the end of the day, so they can go, they work during that class time, and then a lot of times they work longer into the evening and they can work more hours that way. So it's an opportunity for them to get work experience. They also have some work to do for us that allows them to have a grade, but it gets them experience out in the workforce.
Cool.
So, anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you. You're up.
That'd be me. Try not to put my back to anybody. Hello again. Just kind of wanted to update you. We're still getting a little bit acclimatized, but we're getting in there. Just so overall, I just want to let everybody know we have 171 special education students in our district right now. 15 of those students are pre-K, which means 156 students K through 12 have IEPs or special education students. Beginning of the year, there's always lots of changes. We've had 10 students move in the district who have had IEPs. We have had 23 drop that have had IEPs. Out of those that have dropped, 4 of those went to homeschool. 1 of them went to virtual. 2 of them, parents chose to revoke special education services but are still in our district. The rest of them all went to other schools. So 16 of those students all have gone to other public schools within the district. So that's majority of where our kiddos are headed. Since school started, we have had 13 special education referrals, either parents or staff referring students for an evaluation. So those are in process. 504 students. Those are students who receive accommodations and modifications but do not receive specialized instructions like an IEP student. We have 43 of those in the district. 4 students with 504s have transferred out. 5 are transferred in. 5 had transferred out. And we have 4 504 referrals. So not much change over, 5 in, 4 out, 4 referrals. Not a lot of change there. Most of our IEP students come to school every day and they're here for the whole day. We do have 2 students who go to Discovery School, which is an alternative setting up in Rolla. We have 2 students right now that are homebound. We have 4 students right now who are currently part-day students for one reason or another. Kind of a quick overview of kind of our population right now. I did talk to Mr. Spence about possibly hiring an additional teacher and para. We've cut back a lot of teachers. I know there's a lot of budget areas, but what I'm looking at is kind of what's best for our students. And I did share that with the board, or I shared it with Dr. Spence. He shared that with you. Not everybody, I didn't realize, had access to that. A couple of you asked me for access for that, and I gave you permission. It was a Google Doc. So I also shared that on the table tonight. And like I said, what I'm looking at is what's best for students. Out of our 2 students at Discovery School, one of them, Discovery School, says, hey, they're ready to come back. They're coming from very small 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-1 settings, and we're going to say, hey, let's come back to public school, whether that be in special ed or regular ed, where those numbers aren't, that's not the case. So I think we need to find kind of a happy medium where they can be in a much smaller setting. Also with our homebound students, we have students that are homebound. When a student is homebound, they get 5 hours of service per week. That specialized instruction. I do not think that's probably fulfilling all their needs. It is what DESE says is, you know, what we need to provide. I think we can do better as a community. So I think some of those other students we're looking at, a couple of our part-day students, I really think we can provide them better services. We had an additional teacher, an additional para. We could really specialize with those individual students, get them and work on getting them back into where they need to be. Hopefully push it in with some regular ed students or bigger special education settings. Put a lot of numbers and things in this. Put in the cost, what it costs for us to send a student to Discovery School. And last year we sent, 2.6 students because we had 3 students who went, 1 not for the whole full year. It costs us about $36,200 a year just for tuition and transportation from Kabul to Rolla per student. An additional amount of money for us to transport them from their homes to Kabul. Last year for those 3 students, that was an additional $48,000 to $50,000 in there. So a lot of money. I really feel that that money can be spent here by hiring local staff, providing those services here. A lot of our students, when they're homebound, when they're part-time, whether they're going to Discovery School, whatever they're doing, or even homeschool, because we do serve some homeschool kids, or we can if we're asked to. We have OTs, we have SOPs, we have those either contracted with or already on staff. So I really think that we would do that. And I think the benefit for us doing that is our kiddos are going to stay in our community. They're not going to be riding a bus 3+ hours a day all the way up to Rolla. It's going to keep us consistent with our staffing, our culture, and our policies. We want those kiddos in our community. We want their peers to know who they are. We want them to stay here, be successful here, because they're going to be part of our community someday, and we want to make sure that they are and they're a successful part of that. I think that's, a lot of increased collaboration with our local therapists and stuff. I think that small group setting is going to make those kids successful, and hopefully we'll narrow that down so that we don't have to keep that forever. And of course, someday, we want them to mainstream and, be part of all of that. Lots of numbers in here. I think even with the extra cost of hiring a teacher and a para and some startup costs for that classroom, and I really put that number high, depending on those kiddos, depends on what they need. And I've been doing my utmost to know who those kiddos are and understand those kiddos. One of the homebound students is getting 5 hours a week. So that they get that. I've been providing that so I know who that student is, what his needs are, and what we need to do the best for him. I plan to ride the school bus with those students who are going to Discovery School so I can, learn more about them and what their specific needs are. But right now, Discovery School, they're saying, hey, they're ready to come back. I just don't think they're ready to go full mainstream. So even with that cost of hiring a teacher and everything, if we were to take all those kids I'm thinking about and send them to someplace like Discovery School, I really truly believe with our numbers we'll save $150,000 to $185,000 if we do that. It's not going to cost us that much to hire a teacher and a para. So once you've looked at that, if you have any questions, I'm more than welcome. Yes.
So if we hire this teacher, because your discovery costs are by the number of students that we send there, right? It's so much a student.
Yes, it is.
So this teacher, if we hired them, how many students could they service at one time would the savings even be higher depending on how many
It could
students?
potentially go higher or lower. One of those students at Discovery School, they are strongly recommending does not come back right now. They say that student is not ready. And they're the professionals. If they're saying that, I think that's something that we need to consider. They also, when they say they're sending kiddos back, they're considering what type of classrooms and what setting they're sending them back to. And when we're talking about sending a kid back to a special education classroom that has 10 to 18 students in it, or part-time special ed, part-time regular ed, they're considering that. So that's kind of some of the things. But so if we send more students, we would save more. If they see more students, we would save more. So it kind of just, it really depends. And also the savings is really dependent on the person you find. So if it's a first-year teacher and they're making $40,000, we're going to save money. If it's an experienced teacher and we're paying, $46,000 or higher, we're not going to save as much. Same with the para. Those numbers are always going to flex depending on that. My biggest concern is, even if you guys say, hey, let's go ahead, is finding that right person. Because you just can't take just anybody and throw them in there, especially a non-experienced person. We're already into the school year. It's more difficult to find a good qualified person. Right now, I'm still looking for a para to fill a position, and I don't have any applications. So even with the proposal, I might not be able to find anybody.
How many did you say per teacher per student that we could have? How many students can a teacher have in this?
In that
Sure.
setting, my suggestion, up to 6, I would say no more than 6. Not to say that they would all be full-time. You definitely don't want to take a kiddo who's been homebound, only getting 5 hours a week, and push them in to come to school full-time. That's not what but you can build up to that. I worked with a student today. We went for about 45 minutes and said, okay, we need to take a break. And he was done for the day. That's great. He's gone doing 45 minutes to 0 minutes previously. So we're just building up slowly. So our kiddos, we need to start real slow with that.
So the teacher would have to be SPED certified, is what you're...
Yes, or working in that direction.
So, let's say we just have one student,
Mhm.
okay? Is that pretty much a wash on cost, or are we still saving a little bit of money
We're going to save money even on one student.
on one student?
Even on one student. We have more than one. We have one right now, Discovery wants to send back. We have 2 students on homebound. I have 2 students who are in part day that are coming now, and I'm just going to tell you, neither one of them are being highly successful in that part day setting. They've already gone home earlier than their part day times, already more than once this year, both of them. Well, one of them has more than once, one once. So, we have students now that aren't being successful, and I think we need to make those students successful. When we take those students and we take them out of the classrooms they're in, the remaining students and those teachers are going to be more successful. Because I'm just going to tell you, I spent an hour and a half in the classroom this morning, and this kiddo was yelling and screaming and reaching out and trying to hit and everything, and it took us that long to get him calmed down. He managed to spend his time, but I think if that student happened to be part of this group or that classroom, every other student in that setting is going to be more successful. So it's affecting more than just 1 to 6 students. It's going to affect everybody else within some of those other classrooms.
Is there a big fluctuation throughout the year on the number of students kind of come and go? I know it's kind of
They can
hard
come
to-
and go. One of our students at Discovery School left over the summer. I do have a parent who right now has 2 high needs special education students in our district right now. One of those is a homebound student, one of those is at Discovery School, and they're getting a 3rd foster student in their home on the 18th of September. That will be moving into our district, so that's another student potentially. And I haven't seen their IEP, I don't know what their needs are, if they're as severe as some of our others, or if they're gonna be able to, do some part-time regular ed, part-time special ed, I don't know yet. That family in particular takes extremely high needs, behavioral type kids who have those high needs. So that's kind of what I'm expecting, and that's kind of what he said he reaffirmed that's probably the type of student he's getting. So we have another student moving in, and then moving in or not, whether they belong to our district or not, we serve those kids. That's our job. Students who, when we have students who have extreme high needs within the district and we serve those kiddos, I can use something called the High Needs Fund to get some of that money back. And 2 years ago, because we haven't done last year's yet, that doesn't happen till October, for 6 students, the district spent $284,000 plus, and their reimbursement amount was $46,000. You cannot get any additional money back to help with those students until they have met 3 times ADA, which is $39,000. So once we spend $39,000 on a student, the dollar after that, I can get that money back. We cannot, as a district, get that money back. Money is really important. Budget's really important. Number one thing is our kiddos. What's best for them, and how can we best serve them? And I think this is the best way to do it, and also benefit the district. I really do. And have I done something like this before? I have. In my previous district, we have a classroom that has 8 students in it. That all of them are part-time students. 5 of the 8 have nurses who come to school with them every day. They are extremely high needs. We hired, a teacher, a very specialized teacher, come in and train teachers to be successful, and hired nurses. Well, actually, the nurses that works with the students at home would come to school. But at that time, then the school has to pay those nurses when they're on the property. So pros and cons, both ways. Any way that I look at it, any angle I look at it, the smallest amount, the greatest amount, I see the district saving money. I don't see the district losing or putting out.
On this, it said that a parent is opposed to them returning to the district. Is that because right now they would be in too big of a classroom?
That's part of it. She does not want them to return back into the setting when they struggled as much. And they were struggling when they were here. The parent doesn't want them to come back because right now he's being successful on most days, not every day, but on most days that student is being successful. So I think this is also offering those parents who have doubts about our district, hey, we have a great thing going. We are personalizing, which is what an IEP does. We personalize, individualize for every single student, giving them that opportunity. But that parent is just fearful that their kiddo is not going to be successful. And then what?
I got another question. You said, made a comment, kids, whether they're in our district or not, do we have kids from other districts attending here? And if they do they pay
Foster
tuition, or do we
students,
claim them?
foster students that come to our district, we serve them, yes. If they are not foster students, then they have to pay tuition, yeah. And there is some reimbursement for foster students, but it's minimal. It's not the whole amount that you pay the students to.
There's no action on this tonight.
There's no action, but does everyone feel good about having Ms. Medina go ahead and pursue a teacher? The action would come whenever we employ a teacher. Basically, we need to give her the go-ahead to look for a teacher in Paris, or not.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead,
before we do that. Okay, you say here on your 2.6 students in it, that's what it costs us?
Yes.
Okay, when I divide that by 2.6, I get like 58,000. That would be for one, is that right? That would be for one
Those
student?
for the students that are already attending. That doesn't include the students that are moving into our district. I know I've got one coming, or the students that I currently have in homebound that we are not serving appropriately.
Okay. I think I understand what you're saying. This says but what I'm saying is that's what we paid the Discovery School, basically?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. Discovery School and transportation to get them there. It was a combination of both.
So on this transportation rate, it's going to be much lower rate at $25 per route.
Okay. When you have a special needs student, some of our special needs students receive specialized transportation. If they can't physically, sit on a regular route, et cetera, we pay. So when we pay a staff member to drive, let's say, the far end of our district down there in Pomona, all the way around, pick up a couple kids, and then go all the way to Kabul, that rate for that route is higher because it's a much longer. And sometimes I need to have 2 people on there because it's not safe just to have one, so now I'm paying 2 people for that rate. That's kind of why that rate's a lot higher. Within the district, we're going from their home only to the school. So that rate is going to be cut like in a third of what we're paying out. We're paying our staff, our special education staff, right now $25 a route for those students on special transportation,
Is that twice a day or once a day? That route?
twice a day.
So is that
In the
$50
morning,
a day
in the
or
afternoon.
$25?
$50 a day.
And some days that'd be $100 a day then with two people?
If the route needs 2 people, yes.
Back to brass tacks again.
Mhm.
We spent $147,762 last year,
Mhm.
right? So if it was just like that this year.
That's just pulling all the bills that went
Right.
through. Yep.
And your proposal would cost us 95,000,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So just that right there is showing a $52,000
Yep. With just
in
the
positive.
existing kids that were going from last year to this year.
How long have we used the Discovery School?
I honestly don't know.
Mrs. Barker started that a few years ago.
It's not uncommon, it's not unusual. There's many, many, many districts who use them. Once you have a student that, you know, the district and the staff, you know, are at their wits' end, the students are attacking other students, they're attacking staff, they're hurting themselves, that's when you kind of take that point. And I'm not saying the Discovery School will always be off the board or anything like that. I'm not saying that. Discovery School has a very important purpose. But when they have worked with those students and say they're trying to come back, I think that's when we have to have a plan. Or a plan before we get to that point, so that we don't have to send them.
So 5 years ago or so, they were in-house.
Correct.
So we'll still have one at Discovery School, right?
Yes, until they determine that he's ready to come back. And some of that determination, I think, could happen faster when they know we are set and ready and we have a good setting for that student here.
So you think the quality of that they would receive of the education would be better or equal to what we're getting in Rolla, or the service that we're providing? to
I
the
think it would
students?
be better, in my opinion, because here we have certified special education teachers. Discovery School doesn't have to have certified special education teachers. They employ staff. I'm not saying they're not all special education teachers or even certified teachers, but they do not have to have that in that
But
facility.
we'd also gain time in class versus on the bus too.
Yeah. I mean, every day, all the way to Rolla and all the way back.
Do you need a motion or?
No, just if there are people who are opposed to this or have more concerns.
Or would like more information, I don't mind to talk to anybody.
Well, maybe I'm not getting this right, tell me. But I think I just heard you say, we still have somebody, we still could have people that we'd have to pay for to go to Discovery School. So we could end up with this new special ed teacher and an aide, and then still on top of that, have to send somebody to Discovery School. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I can't tell you
Right.
the
I know
students
you
who are
can't-
gonna roll in the
Yeah.
future.
Right.
I mean, if we have a student who is, you know, beating up our staff and hurting themselves and going after other kids, we may have to use Discovery School.
So in that case, we may not be saving that much money.
I think we will still save. I don't see 6 kids moving in who need Discovery School to that much in-depth, you know, training and stuff. But it's not guaranteed. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you.
But with our current population that is going there and that are staying at home, there's no doubt that we can serve them, most, except one.
Right now, except for one, and
maybe
I don't
one.
know that student, they're saying he is not ready to come back.
And maybe one or two that still might choose to stay home. The
Yeah.
parents might, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I see it as a win-win. I don't see any negative here at all. And I really believe it would be best for the kids too. Thank you, Ms. Medina.
Thank you.
All right,
Oh, it's my turn.
Toby,
We missed you.
I missed you too. So I don't have a fancy slideshow this time. I'll make one next one, I promise. But Mr. Rogers actually covered everything that I didn't know from the elementary because they haven't had their student leadership up and running yet. So I'll probably have that done by, I think they said that they would get that together by November. So all I've got today is middle school and high school. Got some little tidbits from middle school, and they had open house, the 5th grade orientation. That means that the upcoming 5th graders just came for a night. They toured the place with their parents, had a little fun, and apparently that was great attendance. Right, Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Great attendance. So that was definitely really good to hear. They had, of course, their map rewards. They went to Skateland. I would obviously do great on my map if I could go to Skateland. They had a Friday fun day, which we also had, known as Merit Madness? Merit Madness, that's what it was. Merit Madness, we picked classes for the day, and it was a great day. We went to watch movies, we played PE games. It was just kind of a free day. It was really fun. Was the middle school like that too?
Similar.
Yeah. I visited the middle schoolers today. They were telling me how horrible iReady testing is. You know how that goes. Always testing. Tomorrow is picture day, which I'm glad I read that because I already forgot again. Thursday they're having their drop everything and read day, which just 35 minutes out of the day, just sit down and read. I would love that. We're having a pep rally in Bear Mania. So I talked to the middle schoolers today, and I compared it similar Bear Mania to a Harry Potter sorting house almost. It was less. They have 15 teams. They get together. Every grade just sits there. They have fun. They get points throughout the year for good attendance or good grades or anything that they do good. And middle school fall sports will be upcoming and competing in games by the 2nd and 3rd week of September. So I assume those are up and going now. Yeah.
That's this week
Yep.
and next week. Yeah.
So they talked to me about all the pep rallies that they're going to do, how much fun they're going to have with that, and they told me something else. That their fall social is coming up. They're excited about that. They're planning all the details about that. And then, yeah, the high school, we pretty much narrowed it down today to, it's been pretty simple. We've had not major issues. We haven't had any fights, so that's a good thing. The one big lunch was our concern about the fights because, of course, that happens every time. Once you put everybody in one big room, the anger, whatever. So the seniors get to sit out in the hallways, and we've had a lot of fun being able to be separated from the rest of our high schoolers. So, yeah, it's been really good. First good start.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, thank you, Toby. Well, Mr. Fall.
Good evening. First, I'll apologize that I guess the negativity out there with our transportation department. It's been very smooth and safe for 30 plus years, our department, Tommy. So I apologize for the negativity out there currently, but the routes have not changed much from year to year. So when I took the position, there was things that we're tasked with, whether it's cuts, whether it's safety, whether it's areas of where we sent buses, those types of things. So we kind of, year after year, we kind of just look at things. We look at where we go. We look at our turnarounds where we shouldn't be turning around. We look at things what DESE recommends, all of those types of things. So these routes are not much different. Now, obviously, whenever you approve a route, you can tell me to go anywhere and everywhere, but obviously those change throughout the year. Those can always change, whether that be, construction, whether that be, roads getting shut down, those types of things. So, yeah, they haven't changed a bunch. We do serve kids inside the mile radius of which DESE does not reimburse you money for. So, and this district has done that since before my time. So, there are a lot of things that, where we have tried to make it more efficient, more safe, more cost effective, being tasked with that. We are 30th out of 521 schools in the state of Missouri square mileage, the area we cover. We do that with 13 routes. We did do it with 14. 2 years ago, we absorbed one. So thank goodness that those parents worked with us, one or two that it might have been affected, but we did cut that to 13. You know, we cover over 310 square miles in this district. You know, we cover, I mean, just in northern Howell County alone, county roads, there's 500 miles of them, roughly. So there's a lot of ground there that we cover that has been covered since before my time. That I don't think we go to a lot of places that you probably wouldn't take your personal vehicles to. And that's a 40-foot bus with 40 to 50 kids sitting behind one driver. So that's the things that we're trying to either absorb or try to adjust. You know, safety for the kids is number one, obviously. So that's the routes. If there's any questions, I think it might be better answered. If I don't have an answer, I apologize. But
if there's no questions for Mr. Swan right now, we'll go ahead with our parents who have requested to speak to the board about concerning transportation.
Sorry, guys. I am Brianna Brashears. I am new to the school district this year. I brought 2 kiddos up here. So far, they're having a really good year. They love the change. They love the school. I do have one little guy who is in the SPED department. He does require an IEP. On this bus route, whenever I came and enrolled my children, I had talked to the office before even doing the paperwork, making sure that transportation would not be an issue. It was not. So I went ahead and enrolled them. We made the change, got them signed up, got them going. The night before school started, I was informed that my kids would be dropped off 2.5 miles from their house. My 8-year-old will be accommodated by a 12-year-old. Doesn't make me feel very safe. I'm worried about winter months that are going to be coming up soon. The darkness of a morning, no service for my daughter. She needed to get a hold of somebody, somebody hitting them, kidnapping. There is a turnaround in my driveway. My stepchildren went to school in Willow last year. The bus took them all the way home, turned around in our driveway, and they've done that for, I don't know, a couple of months. We were told that the bus driver had an accident of some sort, an injury, and he was accommodated with a sub. The sub, to my understanding, made the changes to no longer come down the dirt road. At that time, my stepchildren's mother pulled them from school because transportation was becoming an issue on that time, and I guess they were having other issues, I'm not sure. I'm just asking that you guys consider taking my 2 kiddos home. I do work. I've worked at my job for 10 years. It'll be 10 years actually next year, I'm sorry, so 9 years. I'm not really in a situation to leave that job, but I also can't expect my 2 kiddos to walk that far across a 4-way, down the highway, and down a dirt road. At this point, we are doing a third party's house, meaning my children have to get up at 4:45 for me to get them to that place and then get to my job on time. So there's just a lot of things that that you guys consider, so my kids are taken to and from school safely. And at this point, I don't think that walk is necessarily appropriate or the safest route. And I think that's all.
Your husband drives a semi?
Yes, my husband does drive a semi, and he can go down our driveway and turn around. He is gone all week, so him helping me is unfortunately not an option. So it is just myself right now. And we live out HH&U. That's where they're trying to drop him off at and have him walk down from for the first dirt road when you cross over on the right-hand side. We also have gotten a hold of the county, and they've helped clean up the road, and so they would continue to help however that needs to be done if anything else needs further work.
But the bus driver said that he had just had surgery and didn't think he could handle going down.
Yes. At that time, the bus driver said on the Sunday prior to school, he said that would be too much for him to even drive down. So I'm not sure if that's something else that needs to be considered. If he can't drive down that dirt road, should he be driving at all? Is he better now? I'm not sure. My main priority is my kiddos. That's all that I You know, it's just, that's it. I want them to be, taken from my youngest. He is, like I said, instead, he does not per se require a door-to-door services. I think he would do just fine on a bus. He has been doing great on a bus. So I don't think a transportation from the school, a third party is necessary. I think he would do great on the bus, just not the walk. I just don't think the walk is appropriate for him, especially if his sister, is sick that day. I can't have him walk, by himself to or from. He wouldn't even know where to go.
And the thought of motorized vehicles and things like that, what if they don't start when the kids get off the bus? So there's a lot of different things to think about, and they've been thought about. So there's no good, there's just no good way to get them to and from school.
I definitely don't want to remove them from the school. The school has been great. My 7th grader is loving this school. So she's done great, and my little guy loves his teacher. I mean, loves the SPED department. It's been a good change. We've not had that in the past with our little guy, and the SPED department has been wonderful to him. So I'd hate to have to, look into further changes if this doesn't, work out. So.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else here to talk about transportation?
What was her name?
Lisa? I don't.
Karen, did you?
She said everything I needed to, I didn't get a letter back, so I wasn't prepared. Yeah, I just didn't get anything back, and that's okay. She had pretty much covered it.
Okay.
But this little boy is not mainstreamed. He
Sure.
is 100% resourced. So, just because he can ride a bus to the 2.5 mile marker, and then the school says that they are no longer responsible for them once they get off the bus, tell that to you as a parent, tell that to you as a parent. I mean, what do you do when you work? I mean, people can't quit their jobs, not in today's society.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
What's up next? Financial update.
Yes. Okay, so if you will pull up on your iPad, you've got the financial update from Dr. Embry and myself. I would first direct you to look at the letter from Dr. Embry, and I'll read portions of that to start the budget talk this evening.
Good, okay, loading.
Yeah. Take a while.
Knocked you all offline, didn't it? Yeah.
You're
You're gonna have to get back on Wi-Fi.
So if you go to the settings app, go to the Wi-Fi, hit the open network. When I was fixing Foster's, I was worried that would happen, so I knocked you guys all off.
You did. Okay.
I'll give you just a second. We'll dig in.
Did everybody get in?
This will be under the financial piece in the agenda. Okay.
You said the open network?
Yep, that is what it was.
Yeah, it kicks you off if the iPad goes on sleep.
Take a while to load it once you.
You might have to refresh it once you get back on.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
So the cover letter for this packet provides the financial assessment for the Board of Education for tonight, representing data for 25-26 through August 31st of 2025. Dr. Embry is engaged with myself and Mandy and Jamie to obtain data and produce the summary information. Goal moving forward will include working with technology, which you have a work in progress that Andrew's come up with on your iPad that's going to help show monthly figures that will help you track the budget in a more clear way. To develop queries and reports to assist office staff in producing the information independently. Dr. Embry will continue to support as needed to provide assurance to the board that the financial trajectory is sustainable. She encourages the board to focus on meeting student needs and analyzing current financial data. The experience of the past can inform changes needed for decision-making and analysis, but cannot be changed. All limited resources should be focused on the current year and beyond, based on the changes currently made to reduce expenditures, coupled with continual monitoring and identification of other needed changes. The financial trajectory is encouraging. Dr. Embry's wording, not mine. So, budget analysis and amendments are the next page. So I've combined those into two, or combined it into one on the slideshow. But for the budget analysis portion, no further analysis of prior year data is recommended. The focus is on the current FY26 year and future planning, creating routine analysis of data and transparent reporting to the board as well as the community. Budget amendments. Following the approval of the Board of Education on August 11th, the budget amendment for revenue and expenditures was posted to the general ledger. Any additional modifications, which there will be identified, and another budget amendment will be presented during a future board meeting. The August 11th amendment summary is attached. That would be attachment A in your packet, and restates the current estimated revenues and expenditures for FY26, resulting in an estimated operating fund balance percentage of 8%. Data will continue to change, and the best information available will be provided on a monthly basis. So we will keep tabs on that percentage each month, and you'll have up-to-date data. So, current financial review, you'll see attachment B is a revenue analysis that compares monthly revenues, and that will be updated monthly, again, for assurance purposes. So July and August revenues were down $219,985 from FY25. So revenues down almost $220,000 from last year. Review of local, state, and federal revenues coming in future months, and as we'll see shortly, the large portion of our revenue will come in the later months of the year. Attachment C is the expenditure analysis that compares monthly expenditures. Again, that will be updated monthly. July, August expenditures are down $1,178,353 from FY25. So over $1 million less in expenditures this year than a year ago. Attachment D is a payroll analysis that provides anticipated costs of our payroll, which is 79% of our budget. August 22nd was our first payroll, and that data provides a baseline for the rest of the fiscal year. And obviously, we'll be doing additional analysis for miscellaneous pay data. That would be career ladder, summer school, substitutes, those that fall outside of that payroll for certified staff. Future budget amendments will be necessary, and these will all be updated for you in October. All right, cash flow analysis from FY25. So all revenue and expenditures by month experienced in the FY25 year. So this was last fiscal year. That includes capital. Those are depicted in the chart below. The data shows that the lowest month-end cash balance was $861,000. That occurred in June of 2025. Note that the month-end balance is based on general ledger postings that month. Bank balances will typically be higher due to outstanding checks that have not been cleared. So that was our month-end balances through the year in FY25. Next up, you have that same information in a chart form. This is the cash flow analysis chart. In public education, a majority of revenue is received in December and January for each fiscal year when local tax revenue is received. Obviously, we receive the majority of our revenue from local tax, so when that check comes in, that spikes our revenue. That does not correlate to the flow of monthly expenditures. So due to this timing, some districts will enter into a short-term borrowing agreement to provide enough cash to pay expenses until the tax revenue is received. These agreements, known as tax anticipation notes, are deposited to and expended from the operating funds. Essentially, it's a short-term loan that is secured by the future receipt of property tax revenue, and it's paid back once the funds are received. The chart below depicts the monthly revenue, expenditures, and month-end balance for FY25. And to be clear, we did not do a tax anticipation note last year. Next slide is the projected cash flow for FY26. So this cash flow chart makes assumptions based on historical percentages and provides a general understanding of the anticipated fund balances each month, assuming revenues and expenditures are distributed closely to the FY25 experience. So again, whenever you're forecasting, we're using historical data. That could change, and that's why monthly updates will be important, and we'll be keeping an eye on this as the year goes along. Highlighted cells for revenue and expenditures represent estimates and will be updated monthly. Using the estimates presented, the lowest month-end balance will be $258,000, and that will occur in November of 2025. Based on the current analysis for FY26, no tax anticipation note will be needed. Data will continue to be monitored on a monthly basis. And finally, based on the current analysis for FY26, like we just mentioned, no tax anticipation note will be needed, and we will continue to monitor this data on a monthly basis. Questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
If I can find it again here. It was in the salary portion there, miscellaneous.
Which attachment is it?
I'm not sure, I can't find it again.
At the top.
Is it the very top?
No, no, it's like the attachment C or whatever.
I'm not finding it, but there was a miscellaneous portion under the salaries, it was
94,779.
Yeah, it was like $400 and some thousand in miscellaneous, like what did?
Substitutes, summer school, career ladder. Career ladder is a huge one.
Those all fall in that miscellaneous category.
Yeah.
On this graph here, Dr. Smith, the 1.2 there estimated, is that where we get the 8%? Is that
Yes,
right?
yes. And you'll see the estimated year end down there. We would be 400,000 to the good at the end of the year.
So back up at the beginning of this where it's 219 and 985, the revenues are reduced from 25 to 26. What was the reason for?
I'd have to dive into that to see exactly what the, so you're talking about the less revenues this year?
Right.
As opposed to last
It's
year?
right at the very top.
Yeah.
Where you
Yeah.
start.
And that's something we can look at.
Enrollment.
That, well, could be.
Would be a part of it.
Could be, because we would have to move forward a year on what we're counting. So
Right.
that could be a factor.
Down. Then all the factors that influence, for example, free and reduced count.
I believe it's all Formula 9 at
Yeah.
that point, so it would have to do with the state formula.
Enrollment probably is the biggest. I would guess. That's just.
Yes. I'll ask Carol. I'll get back to you.
Any other questions?
I don't assume I can ask a question.
No.
Okay.
You'll be able to make a comment here in a minute. All right. Then, we'll move on to the contract proposals.
You have two contract proposals. Tonight, one is with Highland Dairy for our milk at school. And that is the only bid we have or have had in my 20-plus years of being here. So I would recommend we accept that bid from Highland Dairy. And then the other contract is for Relatable Resource, which is the financial consulting of Dr. Carol Embry.
Questions concerning either of those contracts? The milk one is the same as it was last year?
Every year.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many potential hours that she would be working on this?
Well, we got
Send
an
us-
invoice
yeah.
for July
Is that in
and
there?
August.
Yeah. It's a lot of hours.
And I anticipate another month or two, couple of months, similar to what she has provided us, but that they would decrease after that. That's my anticipation.
I would think they would.
Yeah. And I don't think she'll discount the next couple of months, September and October, like she did July and August, but she gave us a really good deal.
She was very kind.
Yeah.
Do we have a number that we're thinking where we stop or where we get concerned, uncomfortable? I mean, it's kind of like a free check right now, how I'm viewing it.
Well,
My number would be 2026.
I guess.
That would be my number.
your number would be 20,000.
2026, the year.
Oh, the year 2026, yeah.
That would be my number.
Yeah. Yeah, Adam, to answer your question, I don't think we have a number, but we'll be reviewing that every month, so.
I mean, I'm
We
for,
can, yeah,
I'll get
right.
that straight, I'm for it.
Yeah, we can, but we'll review every month, but
This contract's not for a specific period of time.
No.
Correct?
And she's setting a lot of things up that we can continue and you guys will be able to continue. So once those are set up, she can pay.
pull back, yeah.
In that contract, it said that we could withdraw it anytime.
Yep. Good question, though, Adam. Any other questions? All right, then, you have, a link to MSBA superintendent search proposal, outlining everything that they do. They go to the ends of the earth to help find us a superintendent, good candidates to pick from. And the bottom line was, I think, is it was going to be $5,800.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
The
which
fee-
is
Fee structure.
a little less than what I thought it was.
There's some, it looks like there's some additional support mechanisms in there at a cost as things go
Right,
on.
yeah, if we choose.
It looks like the basic.
Yeah. We would end up paying possibly some travel expense for candidates to come interview.
I'm all for MSBA superintendent search. I think it would be extremely difficult for us as a board to do it without some sort of entity searching for us. This is the entity that provides all of our policies that we work closely with. I am strongly in support of utilizing MSBA to do this.
Yes, I concur.
That'd be the best $6,000 we spend. All right, any other questions or comments concerning that? Comments from our guest?
I don't have a comment. I had a question, not a comment.
If you do have questions, go see Dr. Spence and we'll try to get them answered.
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
It kind of goes along with what you said at the beginning. We kind of been there, and we need to go forward. And what we need from you as a board and as teachers and staff and administration is the positive, because there's way too much negative out there, and the positive is what needs to be out there and needs to be shared, because there's a lot of good things that are happening here.
Absolutely.
And so, as you guys are out and people talk to you, we need you to share those things. Because that's the only way we're gonna move forward, is if we can look at the positive things and say, hey, look what's going on. And if you don't know, come up to the school. Because I'd invite you to come up there anytime. And we'll go around and we'll look and see what's going on. That's
All
all
right,
I've got.
thank you.
I'd like to also thank our parent who had concerns about transportation for really saying very good, positive things about a district, and they've only been here
You
like
were
less than a
wonderful.
month. so
Thank you. Seriously, I appreciate all your help.
All right. Move forward with the items for action. The first up is the approval of transportation routes. You had the routes presented earlier.
I've got a question. Are we approving the route not going the extra 2.5 miles to these people's?
At this point, that is the route. It would not go to their house.
I don't feel like we've had enough discussion and read enough on the
Same here.
subject for me to feel comfortable. I'm just gonna put that out.
Right, yeah.
I concur. Yeah.
What do we need to hear?
Well, I mean, we don't know what the problem is, why we're not going there from the school district. Has the school district contacted the, I'm assuming Texas County Commissioner to see if we could resolve these things? And, you know, ultimately, it's
You guys
gonna
are
have
welcome
more than 2 kids.
Ask the transportation
Yep.
director.
Right, that's what
Mr.
I'm asking for, some
Yes.
discussion.
You want to
Yeah,
speak
all of
to-
those avenues have been addressed. We've made phone calls. This is not the only stop.
What
This
is the issue with going to these, to this house?
Have you ever driven Jackson Road?
Uh,
I would, so Jackson Road and Rainbow Drive, and I'm sorry if I'm spitting, those are roads that were shut down last spring when multiple drivers, not just the route driver, came back saying, like, we're gonna tear something up. So then, obviously from that standpoint, went, checked it out, yes. You know, it's a pretty rough terrain. There ain't a lot of places we travel around here that isn't rough. But putting a $130,000 machine down terrain of some of the places we take it, I don't feel comfortable with that. I know our district mechanic doesn't feel comfortable with that. You know, we're not asking students to walk to the bus stop. We're not asking, I mean, we're providing transportation, what we're required to do from DESI. Now, certain stops are different. I mean, every route is different. Like, there are stops on every route. It doesn't mean that, you know, we drop everybody else on every other route on the door, because that does not happen. Very rarely happens. So that's not the only stop. There are other things that have been adjusted on other routes, not just this year, last year, the previous year, even before me. It's something that happens yearly. But like I stated at the beginning, like, just because you approve what's on the sheet, that doesn't mean that that's the stop. It is it is recommended that you don't put your stops on a board approval sheet. You don't want the public knowing where every bus stop is. So those are essentially areas and locations.
Sure.
You know, and that's not the only road in that area. There's other county roads that we stopped traveling last year because of potential of tearing machinery up and the safety of other students on the bus and the bus driver. You know, it's what do you want to follow? Like, do you want to travel this far for this kid and potentially, you know, for one student, or you know, and potentially mess or not be very safe with things? You know, it's not something that, like, hey, I don't want to come pick your kid up because it's too, I mean, that's not my take. I mean, that's not me. It's just the way it is. You know, it's kind of a judgment call, essentially.
What has been you've said that you've talked with I'm assuming we're talking Texas County, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
You've talked with the Texas County Commissioner?
I have not personally. I won't be, for us to,
Have you talked to the Texas County Commissioner?
I have not, no.
they're gonna tell you the same, what they're gonna tell individual. I mean, Adam might be able to attest to it more. I mean, there's not money to improve things, you know, I mean, I'll stay on top of them, maintenance-wise, regularly. Now, they're gonna come through there once every so often. You drive the east side of, I know we haven't had rain too much, but you drive the east side of Jackson Road, I don't think many of you would put your personal rig down there, even though people live back there, like, as soon as you get some rain, that's gonna be nothing but mud. Then who's gonna pay our Midway towing bill to come tow us out? How are we gonna get a Midway towing truck back in there? How are we gonna get a spare bus back in there? To pick the kids that are on the bus to load them on a different bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's thousands of factors.
What I can attest to, where he's talking about, that's far edge of my fire district where I'm fire chief. And so I travel in an emergency sense. And it is one-lane roads. There's no passing anybody else on these roads, for the most part. It is rough. You know, I don't know what it'd take with the county commissioners. I think that would be a phone call for sure, somehow, some way.
I mean, they're elected just like everybody else.
Well, they're townships.
Right,
Yeah,
we're in townships out there. I'm not sure if that'd be Pierce or Sargent, right there for sure.
We did speak to them about the roads being a concern, and they were out the next day or the day after and graded them and stuff like that. I don't know. I take my vehicle down that road, but it's not a bus with other children. I'm mindful of that. But they did, you know, go down there and try to fix it best they can.
There is, through that area, there is roads that I hang my fire trucks on. That I literally center in some of these roads. You know, in some of my apparatuses. You know, I'm not saying no road, but that's, I'm getting at, that's the gist of what it is out that direction. I do want to, if we can get closer to these kids, is there a chance we can get closer, or if the county does something, we can get down there?
That's been thought of, you know, obviously, if you talk with DESI and their transportation department, like, they're gonna sit there and tell you, like, you should not be turning a bus around. You should not be putting a bus in reverse. It's one of the most unsafest things ever. And if I were to sit there and count how many times we turn a bus around on every single route we have in our district, you'd be like, well, we need to change that. Well, if we change that, then that even affects more people.
We ran into a situation where, you know, the U.S. Postal Service won't come down. You know, they'll stop at the top and won't come down to where we're doing. I mean, I think this is not an uncommon thing to run into. It's just it's pretty challenging when you've got kids involved and parents and trying to get them.
I mean, like I said, this isn't the only instance. Like other families that have been affected, not just this year, previous years. You know, it's those things. It's like, yeah, I'm essentially the bad guy, and that's just the way it sits. I mean,
I definitely don't think you're the bad guy. I'm thankful that you're mindful of everybody. And I wish I could be also, but as a parent, I have to be mindful of my two, especially my little guy. I just can't have him walking that far. And what do? Quit my job? I don't know. Last year when the bus went down there, my driveway is a circle drive, and they used it to turn around with, and it was never was there any concerns brought to our attention. Didn't have to back up. It's literally a circle drive. I'm not sure if that matters or not. I don't think you're a bad guy, though. I know that you have several children.
Your driveway, so I'm gonna try to keep going with this conversation. I don't know how all this works, but like your driveway is not the issue. It's the roads, it's the overhanging trees, it's the, you know, it's the impassable when an oncoming car comes. Like, and I'm not saying that's the only instance, because other routes have same instances, and it's like, I wish I could get away from all of those, because if my kid was on that bus, whether they had to walk a mile or walk no miles, I wouldn't want them on the bus meeting a car down a one-lane road or going down these, you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this isn't the only instance. There's multiple instances.
You have other situations where kids are walking multiple miles? This is
Not that I'm aware of. There's transportation to the stop, transportation away from the stop.
So the stop may not be that child's house,
No.
front doorstep.
No, that's what I say, multiple instances. There's almost every route has a stop. It doesn't drop every kid off. We don't drop every kid off at the doorstep. There's no possible way. Like I stated, there's 310 square miles in the district. We run it with 13 routes. Like, there's 500 miles in northern Howell County roads. You want us to run all 500? Then we're gonna add routes. We're gonna add drivers. And last time I checked, the drivers are slim to none. So, and that's, I don't mean to sound that way, but,
I think it's true.
I mean,
Shoot straight, that's what we want.
you know, you're talking money. I mean,
I went in.
every driver gets paid the exact same in our district.
I went in and talked to Mr. Flom the other day, and he pointed out all the different roads that they don't go down anymore, the dead-end roads and where they had to turn around. And I drove a bus a lot, and I drove down a lot of those roads that, you know, we used to go down, and we're not going down. There's a lot of roads that we're not going down anymore.
So is the county the failure?
Is it the county? I think big part of it is safety.
No, I mean, but is the county the one that's not keeping up with these roads? Is it?
No, they're dead-end roads, and we've stopped going down dead-end roads. But we're not going to open it up to discussion here. But is that accurate, Mr. Sloan?
Certain ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, certain ones, certain situations.
And
you know.
a lot of them.
It's not every one of them, you know, if it was every one of them, then we can absorb a
lot of
you know
it's
what
the
I'm saying?
condition of the road also.
I don't feel like we can do it all at once, but like I stated earlier, our district picks up students inside the mile radius where you get no reimbursement money for. So you're essentially, I mean, you're picking up free rides. I mean, you're picking up students that the state is not funding you back for, you know? I mean, if you want us to travel all of those roads and all of those corners and all of those, I mean, then we need to make some other adjustments if you don't want to be spending dollars. That's my take on it, and that's black and white. I'm kind of more black and white than gray.
I appreciate that.
So, let me get this right. We approve this, that doesn't mean there can't be adjustments made or whatever. This is just a.
We can still look for a solution to this issue
Right.
on this, try to work something out that will help them.
But that can always, we can still approve
Yes.
this, can't we? And then
Yes.
then
Yes.
any adjustments can be made afterwards, right?
Yes, the paper in front of you does not
Okay.
depict every road and it's the area.
Okay.
Any other discussion on bus routes? All right, then, a motion be in order to approve the transportation routes as presented.
So moved.
Motion's made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And as a note, in the future, we'll approve bus routes in August,
I would
Yeah.
recommend July. Yeah.
July or August, yeah, before the school year starts.
I'm hopeful that we'll continue to try to work with this family.
Yes.
See what we can do to resolve this issue.
Okay, so next up is our contract with Highland Dairy.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the contract with Highland Dairy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, and then we have the contract with Relatable Resources, which is Carol Embry, our consultant. Motion's made to approve the contract.
Second.
Motion is seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
No.
And then the contract with MSBA for the superintendent search. Motion be in order to approve entering into a contract with MSBA for the superintendent search.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, motion be in order to move to executive session.
So moved. What's the,
What's the,
Student discipline.
so moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Let's see.
Aye.
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 Aye. All right.